Hey guys, hey, welcome back to Truth, Trust, and Trajectory. I'm your girl, Shakim B. And today we're going to be talking about self actualization, one of the most transformative stages in our personal journeys. Self actualization isn't just about becoming who we were meant to be, it's about recognizing the lessons, peoples, and experiences that guided us there, even when those lessons are hard to see in the moment. So, if this sounds interesting, keep watching. Okay, so one of the biggest lessons I've learned on this path is that every person who enters our life has a purpose, even if we can't see it right away. We often get so caught up in the outcome of relationships, wondering if they'll last, if they're the right one, or what went wrong when things ended. But I've come to understand that people come into our lives for a reason, just sometimes to teach us something we need to know for the next place that we're going and the next phase in our journey. Think about it. How many times have we felt disappointed or hurt, only to look back and see that that experience pushed us closer to our true selves and to our purpose? Each relationship I've had, even the ones that didn't work out, has been a gift. I truly do believe that. They've shown me who I am, what I value, and where I still need to grow. Every time I thought I'd hit rock bottom, I discovered a new layer of strength within me. Instead of viewing these relationships as failures, I honor them for the parts they played in my journey. They were stepping stones, each one bringing me closer to my authentic self. So, just really quickly, I want to talk about um, two really important relationships that I feel like I've experienced growth. Okay. The first one, not so much so. It just showed me or reaffirmed to me how truly driven I can be um, out of hurt, right? And not everybody is like this, but for some reason, I've always been the type of person that operates best under pressure. And I've noticed this now that I'm talking about it. I noticed when I was little, anytime that my mom yelled at me, and, I went to school like not in the best of moods, that's when I was more focused, when I was more concentrated, right? And I don't really know what that is all about. It's still kind of like a mystery to me, um, that I do intend on delving deeper at some point. But wow, that actually that's crazy. I literally just thought about that. But yeah, so I dated this guy that I was really, 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 really bonded with. And the thing about that particular relationship was he was a very honest guy, right? So he knew off the rip that what he wanted in his life, I was not going to be a part of that. And I think that was a really difficult thing for me to accept, um, especially with like us having built like such a strong bond, so the actions and the words did not match up, which was extremely confusing, but it was unnecessary, right? Because people say things, but they show their actions to be something completely different. Now, coincidentally, the second relationship um, was the complete opposite, right? So the actions never matched up with the words, just as the first one. But this person would say that they wanted me in their life and how special and important I was and how much they loved me, but their actions never ever reflected that. On rare occasion, it would, which, is very confusing unnecessarily because, again, I've learned something very important about dating. And this is why I've chosen to take a step back and not engage in dating simply because I'm still getting to a point where I'm learning to trust myself, right? And I think with the history of the experiences that I've had, it would be completely unfair to try to start dating again, um, knowing that I have not reached the potential that I know I can obtain, right? Um, I want my future partner to meet me at my best, not at my worst, right? So when I know myself and I trust myself and I'm, putting all of these amazing skills and talents that I have always possessed when I'm actually living up to my full potential, it would be a complete shit show right now, right? So back to these two relationships. The first one um, was extremely emotional for me just because there is still a part of me that knows that this person really did truly care and love me. Um, and I know this to be true because, he was able to let me know, like, hey, I don't want to string you along and, trick your mind, knowing that I might feel like there's something better. And I think at the time that was very, very hurtful for me, right? Because my mind couldn't register, like, hey, like, how could you think someone could be better for you than me? But, he was right. He was absolutely right. You know what I mean? I think a lot of the skills that I've developed in between, then and now, and even still developing on working on being able to control my emotions and communication and just all of the things, right? And I remember feeling at that time that I wasn't good enough for him because, here I was, an aspiring entrepreneur. So I had my LLC and I had, started to acquire contracts for medical courier services and, trying to get a housekeeping business off the ground. Like I was just very, very much so hustler driven, and he had a degree and went to a college, and had like, for what I felt was maybe a better family, you know, environment, to where if he needs something, he could just call and they would help him, you know. So at the time, that also, it did chip away at my ego because it made me feel very inferior, like I was not good enough for him. And I think that there was a part of me that played out that trauma that, hey, he's like way better. Like, you went to college, like, you have a degree. You know what I mean? Like, you have a brand new car with no fucking payment. You know what I mean? And, just the most beautiful person, even with all of the things that we went through. But I felt like it took a tremendous amount of strength looking back to be able to let someone go that you really do truly care about. And you know what I'm saying? I learned a lot from that relationship. So much so to where when I, left, it took me months. Like, I think I cried for like a month every day. You know what I'm saying? And I lost like probably like 70 pounds. Like, I was so skinny because I couldn't eat. And then, there was a part of me that started to wake up to the fact that, hey, like, you don't have to self harm because you perceived someone else as hurting you, right? So it's okay to live, like life still goes on. Because when men move on, they don't lose sleep over us. They don't stop eating. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird, all of the things that women kind of collectively go through after a breakup. But the one thing about it that I've noticed is each time, right, I've put some sort of flame behind my purpose. So, within probably after I, started to really get over it and let him go, I had obtained my DOT number and, you know, got my LLC, like another one, started another one, and um, facilitated like a UPS contract. So it was all very fulfilling. And at that time, I was like very unsure of the direction that I wanted to go in. So I remember like having signed up for school because I was gonna go for psychology at the time. And then I thought about it. I was like, I don't really want to just I don't want to go and accrue more debt. Like that's not really my path. It's not my thing. Like I've tried it before. I find that I operate best under pressure and expedited times, right? Meaning the short term goals work best for me. They have the best outlook. I always get the best outcome. Okay, so there was the first one, and then the second one was just like, man, like I went through like a phase of being so angry and upset, and then sad and like desperation because my ego was hurt. Like another person has left me, and that just reaffirms, and it reaffirms in your mind that you are disposable and nobody will ever want you and you're not worthy of love, and people don't actually care for you. And that's a hard thing to think, right? But with that, after I got past those self-deprivating thoughts, I started really thinking like, at this point it's me. Like there's definitely something with me that keeps attracting these same situations, these same relationships, these same type of people, right? These traumas keep being replayed over and over again. And with that, I'm like, no, like, I am valuable. I am very, 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 very fucking much so worth being loved and not being abandoned, and I deserve to be treated well. And I deserve patience and kindness and understanding and compassion and all of the things that I have inside of me, right? So what that did was it started to wield me in the direction of like what I strongly feel like is my life purpose. I don't want another woman to have to go to sleep crying out of lack, or for another woman to have to subconsciously sabotage her peace, her well being, her self esteem because she set down hers to go get it from a guy. Like, I don't want that. And so I feel like if I can give something back, because I do believe in giving back to the collective, like all of the experiences that I've had over my lifetime, it was all due to the collective. You know what I'm saying? So now, like, just call me an alchemist. I have to transmutate that energy somehow and give back. Like, some sort of way, whether it's through sharing my story, storytelling, reading from a prompt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care how I have to do it, and I don't care how long it has to take. Like, this is absolutely my purpose. I need to be able to uplift women because I feel like we live in a society that strongly not only suppresses women's emotion, well being, intellect, all of these things, we're mocked and taunted and teased for being true, just simply who we are. And we're told to be less. And when you become less, they say, hey, well, you should have been more. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. So I just want to break the wheel, you know? I want to break it and I want to contribute something of value, something powerful, like love, the love of women. So, one of the biggest shifts for me has been moving from an outcome focused mindset to an experience focused one. We're conditioned to want the happy ending, to measure success by how things turn out. But when we fixate on the outcome, we lose sight of the journey and the growth that comes with it. Self actualization is about embracing the journey itself, about seeing each step as necessary, even through the hard ones. It's about trusting that every person, every experience is guiding us closer to who we are meant to be. Let go of the need for a perfect outcome and start valuing each chapter of your story for what it teaches you. Okay? So, in short, I want to thank everybody for listening. I encourage you to take a moment and think about the people and experiences that have brought you to this point. Instead of judging them by the outcome, honor them for their purpose in your life. Trust that each connection, each challenge has played a role in your self actualization, bringing you closer to your truest self. You have a resilience within you that's carried you through every setback, in which each rise you are elevating higher. Thank you guys for joining me today in Truth, Trust, and Trajectory. If this episode resonated with you, please share it and consider leaving a comment. And remember, every experience is a part of your journey to self actualization. I love you all so much. Peace and hair grease.